Hi, welcome to our fourth and final session of Hutt Cartel, a game of scum and villainy on the notorious 1313 of the Imperial capital Coruscant. We are finishing off our series of games set just after the Battle of Endor, but before the Republic takes over, probably in what is now known as the Legend Star Wars universe. But we won't bother with that too much. We've gone over, this is a gauntlet game, we have gone over lines and veils in previous sessions and we're all in agreement, and I have played with these guys enough to know that they will bring it up. But if you do not play with lines, veils and other safety tools, I fully recommend that you do, because they are brilliant, especially when you are playing a game like Cartel, which is a game meant to tread all over most lines and veils in most games, I would say. Why don't we go round and in character keeper order, introduce our players. If you could give say wherever you like and where we last saw you, perhaps.
Hi, my name's Steven. I use the pronouns he, him. Today I'm playing Jeldar Ko, who is the Druglord playbook, who also uses the pronouns he, him. And Jeldar is kind of a screw up. He's an accidental Druglord that basically just weaseled his way into the Black Sun, and just went to have like almost, it was really just to kind of blacken the eye of the Hutt Cartel, and show them that Black Sun was really in charge here, and he screwed it up as usual, and he's on the run now with a few of his leftover gang members. They're kind of, I think, running through the sewers around 1313 and pursued by an IG assassin droid and maybe the cops.
Everybody wants Jeldar. And next up we have...
Oh, I think that's me. Hey, it's Rich. Use the he, him pronouns. I'm playing Atima, who uses the she, her pronouns. Atima is a Ratataki. What's that? It's a gray-skinned humanoid from a video game that's in Star Wars, so it's canon. You can't stop me. And she has some tribal tattoos, which is part of her culture. It's a pretty savage and brutal world that she hails from, but here in 1313 on Coruscant, she is a spy for the Rebellion, New Republic, according to who you ask, and she is trying her best to get Inez, who is one of Jeldar Ko's folks, out, and she may have made the decision last session that like staying on Jeldar Ko's good side to help her organization isn't the best call and might be angling for Jeldar Ko. We'll see if that's where she goes.
Nice. And then next up we have
Anders, he, him. I'm playing Skara, she, them. She's the Hawk playbook, so she has or had her gang of drug dealers, and she made the brilliant decision of getting into a fight with a swoop gang, which called down the full might of the Empire, such as it is, or at least a bunch of stormtroopers. So now she's also on the run with the one person who is left, at least as far as she knows, from her little group. And she's, she's not happy.
And finally we have
Philip. I use he, him pronouns. I go by Snarkade on Twitter. I am playing Crix Herrer. He is a CSF officer, a dirty CSF officer. He has been moving the chess pieces around the board as the mastermind that he truly is in order to get himself in the position he is. Either that or he stumbled across it. He's not exactly sure which is which. And he's basically in an alley right now with a dead Trandoshan and an unconscious former CSF officer, and he's positioning them.
Thank you. Yeah, everything is the gang war that has been sizzling away in the background of this has really kicked off thanks to Jaldar, the two hawks, I suppose. Once a hawk, always a hawk, Jaldar, right? And Crix has been a shifty little bugger throughout the entire thing. That's a Star Wars term, I think. They live on Tatooine. And where last we left off, we had Jaldar fleeing through the service tunnels, being pursued by the IG model droid Z36, otherwise known as Z. And we could see the remainder of his few men. I want to check. Stephen, are you okay with how I've changed your tags on your sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Skara, I've also changed your gang. I don't think that you're a gang with other gangs now. I think that most of those gangs got caught up by the stormtroopers in that.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, you guys can always get them back, of course. It's going to take a hell of a better rolls than it did last session, I think. But I suppose my question is, let's start with Skara. Skara was, when we last cut off, was speeding through the underworld portal, being pursued by Imperial scouts on speeder bikes. Maybe a probe droid or two as well, like floating through the crowd, and your surviving gang member Tren was on the back of your bike, and you dragged her away from the dead body of Leitil, the poor rookie who got taken out in this disastrous ambush. And Tren grabbed hold of the controls, and she screamed, we can't lose them up there. We gotta go down. Like, they won't follow us down there, and pushed your bike down towards the underworld. And I just wanted to check, are you okay with going to the wastelands of the Coruscant underworld?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I just want to argue that technically the ambush itself wasn't disastrous. The ambush itself was middling, but the aftermath, that was disastrous.
Yes, your coordination of your gangs and the weapons that you bought were both disastrous, which led to the ambush not quite going the right way. I mean, you did kill Rez, so it's kind of a victory, right? So, Skara, what do you think? I think you're, it's following you, and it's like just breakneck vertical speed, through tunnels and tunnels and tunnels. And it comes to like a big, the actual portal itself is like sealed off, right? With like, hazard lights, and, big ships and stuff don't go down, and you break through like a little side vent that's going down, now you're doing that kind of, like in Die Hard with a Vengeance, when they're like racing through the aqueducts that are being constructed. You're doing that, being chased by Imperial speeders. And you break through into the deep, dark, barely illuminated levels that no one dares go to anymore. You have dropped hundreds of levels in mere moments, going through, all nearly hit. And Tren is leaning back over the bike, firing, and blaster bolts are coming in. What do you do as you race through here?
I mean, we're trying to shake them, and I mean, I don't want to be down here, but being down here is better than being caught by the troopers, the stormies. So I think just trying to shake them off.
Well, would you like to roll the location move for the deep underworld, the lowest levels of Coruscant, where only the desperate go?
Probably not, because my grit is -1, but I don't think I have any much choice. Yeah, let's go for it. I don't have the dice roller. Do we have a link for that? Yes, we do. Sorry. So that's a -1, 2d6, and the roll is spinning, and that's a 5.
Nice. Yeah. So like Tren grabs you, right? Like as you're pulling around the corner, you break it, suddenly she leans forward and grabs hold of the air brake, right? And your bike goes spinning like in a corkscrew, and it just ducks into this side tunnel that neither of you saw, but that you hadn't seen. And as you go through it, the two Stormies sort of zoom past, you know? And it's like, it's all quiet. And Tren's like, Kref, did anyone else make it? Scar, did anyone else make it?
I don't know. I don't know.
And then, did you just touch my foot?
What? No?
And she
Is that-
screams as a tentacle pulls her off the back of the bike. And this huge Dianoga, right, that's been living down beneath the sewage runoff of Coruscant for God knows how long, erupts out of it. And it has Tren like dangling by one foot, like held above. And like Dianogas are normally like amphibious almost, you know, they like the water. This one is so big and so huge that it's like pulling itself like up this tunnel, like, you know, filling up one side of it, and Tren is being dragged towards it. I would like you to mark 1 stress for this, Skara. I don't know actually what you're on stress wise. Only 2.
I'm on 3 now.
3 now. Yeah. And now I'm going to cut across to Jaldar. Jaldar, you're you know, you're on the run, right? Where do you go on the run? Like, you know that they're after you, you know that your things are hit, but where do you go? Like a safe house? Where do you want to go? Like,
So I think the first thing is Jaldar's like, we have to get these people off of us, right? And he says, he tells some of his men. So I think we have a small group of like 10 or so. Right?
Yeah,
And
I'm going to say that this 10 is all you can rely on at the moment. You know,
Right.
like everything's gone to shit.
Yeah. Are there any named NPCs in this group of 10? I don't recall.
I don't think we had, because the crime lord starts off with like 20 different names on their sheet to start off with. So if you just want to name one, then
no. I just wasn't sure if I needed to pull in an NPC or not into this. But so I think what we end up doing is Jaldar's like, okay, you three go down that sewer tunnel and make some noise, right? And you two go that way, and the rest of us are going to go this way, and we all kind of split up. And I'm like, I want to get at least some of the heat off of our back while we, you know, continue to try to head up. More like the safe house that we need to go to is, so it's not going to be the 8 lives. Let me look at the places real quick and see if we can't figure out a good place for us to meet up.
I mean, you know that Skara's loyal, right? Like, you couldn't get hold of her, but maybe.
Well, at this point, I'm thinking, you know, Skara must be could be in with the Hutts. I don't know who to trust. I don't trust Crix anymore, because I told him not to call in the cops, and the cops showed up anyway. So I'm thinking.
I am only really pushing you towards Skara's Hawk's Den, because that also does the wish from last session where we wanted to have more scenes with Skara and other players, because we spent 2 sessions without. Because I think one of the, you know, the siloing problem of Cartel, right, where you don't trust each other, so why the hell would you go speak to them?
So I like the idea. How about if our not safe house, but our like, oh shit, we have to get out of Dodge is actually down below, right?
Oh, well, maybe that's, I mean, who would follow you? You know, even an assassin droid wouldn't follow you down to the lower levels. Yeah.
Oh, even
so
better.
Maybe
I think
send off your 2 droids. You send off like the 2 other groups, and then you and a couple of others are gonna, like, there's this, you know, like express hatch that's like battered, but you know that the Tenwa use it sometimes to go like all the way down and route scavenge down there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're one of your enforcers, what's the one with the 3 eyes called? Do you guys know?
Gran?
Yes.
A Gran, yeah. A Gran is like gesturing at the thing, and it's like, boss, like, I used to run this when I was a kid. Like, no one ever finds you down here. It's our only way out. Yeah. And then you can hear up the thing like he's coming.
Yeah. And we totally, like, the 5 that are left totally like bail into this little hatch, and slide down into the darkness. I think I've told the other two groups we totally need to, see who's on our side. So we're all going to meet up, and we're all going to meet up at Crix's place, right? We're going to go find Crix and talk to him. But once they leave, that's whenever the other 5 of us, we all bail down the little chute.
Cool. So you are sending off some of your enforcers to rendezvous at Crix's, basically, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to go this way. You're going to break right. They're going to break left. The plan is to meet up at Crix's.
Yeah.
And I presume that this means that the standing orders are, if you don't show up, then they deal with Crix on your behalf, right?
That's right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. I like this.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you guys, they go off. And let's have you roll it now, just so that I can keep it in mind how it's going to go. Oh, you know what? Let's hold on to that roll. I will roll it when someone goes to Crix's house that isn't an NPC, or becomes the big shot move of when you order your enforcers or agents to solve a problem on your behalf. In the meantime, you go sliding down into the underworld, right? Like, and I think the hatch shuts, right, just as this IG droid comes around the corner, and it just sees the retreating feet of your other group of gang, and it has a moment where it's like zzz, zzz, dun 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 off up the corridor as you go down into the darkness. You're on force. I'm not going to have you mark a stress just for going down into the darkness, I think. But yeah, you will cut across now to Crix, who is has the money, has Tuk and Trogo's body, and has Vic Munn as well, unconscious in the back of his speeder.
Yes. Yep. Vic's not making it.
I mean, I figured as much, but I'm just curious how it's going to
go. Basically, I'm positioning their body so it looks like they got into a close quarters fight over the briefcase, and then I'm going to fire a single blaster bolt through the briefcase into Trogo.
Okay.
So
they won't bother doing a drug report on a guy who a piece of street scum that's got a blaster bolt for him, right? So, yeah. But what's the actual plan here with those things, with those bodies and stuff?
Basically, I want it to look like he was the courier, and the actual chip itself and the case itself was destroyed in the ruckus.
Okay. I think that ultimately this boils down to a push your luck.
Yes.
All told with it, I think we'll see how that goes.
All right.
So you're positioning all of these, you've got it, and you're I mean, whereabouts are you in this?
We're just away from the police station. We're in an alley that was, that didn't have a whole lot of police coverage, that we thought that was a safe area that was close enough to the police station that we could go to there for assistance afterwards. And this is just rolling right now.
On my screen it says a 2.
A 2. I rolled a 2.
And that's what it says on mine, but it doesn't say roll history. It doesn't say. It just says that it says that you've rolled 0 dice actually, so that's why. It just added your modifier rather than the
2d0 and got a 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty good result for 2d0, I would say.
Yeah. I'm going to try to reload this because I just have the little. I rolled 2d6 plus my modifier, and I clicked rolling, and then it still has the little circle, the cube rolling.
I kept getting that the other week. I wonder if it's because we're using the test room. But the test room is the only one that works on my work laptop. So, do you want me to roll on your behalf, Philip?
Let me try one more time. I just pop back in. Your luck. Push your luck. All right.
Oh, that's better. 7 to 9.
There we go. Yes.
Okay. So you're dragging Vic from the car, right? From your
Yes.
speeder, and you're pulling him along. And Tuk Tuk is like stood over like the body of Trogo that you've propped up against the side of the thing, and he's like positioning the thing, and he's like, and the voice says, "This guy is heavy. Like, you should be carrying him. I should be dealing with Vic. This is a Trandoshan, you punk." You know. And then you set down Vic for a second, right? You just put him down, and you're like, "Look, Tuk, you know you're about to deal with Tuk Tuk," and then you feel a hand scrabble at your belt, and Vic pulls your blaster out and fires. And it clicks on empty. It clicks on the safety, and he's like, staggers back, holding the gun up the alleyway, and Tuk Tuk his like little hands up in the air, you know. And Vic like turns and sprints towards the police station, blaster in hand, like he doesn't know where he is. He's groggy. He's just found himself next to a corpse with you, and he's like, "Help! Help! They're trying to kill me! Help!"
And I will run behind him and go, "Freeze! You're under arrest! You're under arrest!
Ooh!
Put
So
the blaster down! Put the blaster down! Stop resisting!"
I think that you have you've declared yourself as ISB.
Yep.
There are two officers who are like just stood like, you know, on their death stick break out in front of the plaza, and like they're turning around, blasters like in holster, and they can see this guy running up the thing. I think I'd like to roll pressure someone to see how well you get away with this.
All right. Let's see which one is that. That's also a 2.
Nice plus hustle. Oh, yeah. Hera is, you know, they turn around and he runs up to them. Vic Munn is like, guys, you gotta help me. It's crit, and then freeze, and he just gets riddled, and his blaster and your blaster goes like clutched in his hand, and he collapses to the ground, rolling on top of it, and the two officers come over to it, and they're stood and they're looking up at you. What do you do?
I go, "Thank God this man was a murderer. He's killing people. Not only is he's killing assassins, he's an assassin. The worst kind of assassin."
Now, are you sticking around for Rex to come along? They go like, "Oh, well, we got to call this in, Officer Hera. We got to."
I go, please do. I've got to go see I've got to go deal with with his initial crime.
Well, I think, given that you have left behind your personal blaster in the hands of Vic Munn, a man who also has your name on the HR file recommending him to be dismissed from the force, you know, and given that you're already kind of under suspicion for this, I think this counts as leaving a messy crime scene before the rest of the authorities arrive, you know, before people with brains and who know you personally arrive.
But here's the thing. What I'm going to tell them is because he knew me, came up to me, was talking to me, and since he was a former officer, he drew my pistol and he tried to shoot me with my own gun.
Oh, well, I mean, that's certainly the story you're going to tell. I think this role of leave a messy crime scene before the authorities arrive is, you know, encapsulating how much that story flies with the people who come down to be like, what the hell is one of our ex-detectives doing lying dead on the ground with one of our other ones? Oh, Etima, you and Batty did get out of the car last time. You and Batty, Crix dropped you off next to Batty's speeder because you wanted to go get Inez, and he had to deal with the money in the thing.
Thank you. I completely spaced. Which is why I did not answer where were you last, because I didn't
I didn't clock that one. Sorry, you were describing it, and I was like,
I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for help.
Yeah. So let's see what Crick's rolls where they flee a messy crime scene.
All right, what is that?
That is plus heat,
Oh, okay.
which I believe you're relatively good at, -1.
Yep.
You roll a D0 again.
Let's see. I finally got the results from my I rolled an 11 last time. I had no idea what I had rolled last time. It just came up.
That's a 9. So on a 9, the authorities respond before you can get away, but they are isolated and unprepared for what they find. I think that this means that, tell you what, I think you just mark a stress for this, because these guys, you managed to blag these guys, you managed to get through them, you mark, Tuk Tuk comes up and corroborates your story, like, oh, it was crazy, we were just sat there, and then, Mun came up ranting about how Hera had ruined his life, and they take your statement, and yeah, the only thing is that this is going to go through Rex's cold mechanical eyes at some point, right? And hope you just have to hope that you get out of here before then. So mark 1 stress for that. And you've also lost your blaster. They refuse to give it to you, back to you.
Okay.
And let's cut across now to our rebel spy, Etima. Batty has got into her speeder with you. She like tells you to sit in the back, and she's driving like it's a cop car basically, with the cage in it and everything. At the back, it's unmarked, but it is a cop car kind of stuff. And she says, "Nobody but my partner rides in the front. You understand?"
As long as you don't lock anything back here, sure.
We're all friends here, right? You're my ticket off world. I mean, to join the glorious Rebel Alliance and free the galaxy.
I mean, yeah, basically. That's good.
So
you want that, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, when I was a kid, the Imperials came, they took my parents, accused them of being rebel sympathizers. Dad was Alderani,
No, I didn't know that.
But you get by. Things are hard down here, right? You know that.
Yeah, I know.
Do what you have to survive. And if what I have to do is join the rebellion, I can do that. So who's this girl? Who's this person that you need? Where are we going?
She's somebody that's mixed up with Jaldar and doesn't see a way out, but I've got one.
Body bag?
No.
Okay, must be someone special. If it was up to me, I would never come anywhere near that flaming piece of poodoo.
But you're here now and you survive.
Yeah. Well, I owe Hera. I owe Hera. Who do you owe?
I don't know if they want me to say, but I guess we're being all above board here, right?
Yeah.
Astapone.
The socialite? The heir to the off-world shipping magnate? That Astapone?
Yeah.
Criff, she gets to run around up there while you're stuck down here with Co.
Didn't say I loved it.
Well, everyone's got a bus, I guess. Where are we going?
I imagine she's at 8 lives. Like, I don't know. Things
Yeah,
got
I mean, 8
crazy,
lives
so
is a good
Eight-
point. Yeah.
8 lives for now. I hope that's where we can find her.
Okay. And you know, we cut to the speeder stopping off at 8 lives, and you're seeing like a carrier of CSF forces, like, and Rex, and as you drive past, Batty swears and goes, "Crap. I guess without the bribe, this place is going to get shut down pretty quickly. Listen, I'll run interference if you want to. You go get your friend. I'll hold them off for a few minutes, all right? I can't keep them long, though. You understand?
Yeah, no, I understand. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Here.
can handle this.
Where are we meeting for?
Ooh, Rich will look at the cool locations. Hold on. I want to say refuge. Like, that's the first thing that came up in my head. But does anyone have suggestions of a place they'd love to see?
I mean, I like that.
Don't say deep underworld, because I know you're just a terrible person for saying it. No one wants to go there.
I think that Refuge 1313 makes sense, right? Like, it's money comes from Astapone down into there. It's a safe, neutral place, right? Like, and
Yeah.
you gotta go to Peyton Fen and tell him that you tried, right, at some point, perhaps. So, yeah,
Refuge.
I like it.
You know where that's at? The aid station.
Oh, run by that old Imperial medic, huh? The one with the robot leg and the robot arm and the robot eye and the robot lungs and the robot pelvis.
I know he's more machine than man. How do you know about his pelvis?
She just raises one eye.
No judgment, friend. Okay, I'm gonna go get her. I'll see you at Refuge.
Mm.
Hey. Thanks.
Just make sure you pay back what you owe, okay, Etzma?
I do.
Okay. So within 8 lives, you know, there's not very many people around here. Jaldar took most of the heavy hitters with him. No one seems to have made it back as of yet. And up in the office, so you can see Inez. And if you go into the office, and you can see that Inez is sat on the table with her feet up.
Hey.
You made it. She smiles, comes over and hugs you. I was so worried about you.
Hey, there's CSF all over, crawling all over this place.
Oh, I know. And she pats a briefcase on the table. It's fine. This is just the cost of doing business.
I know. You seem pretty casual.
Well, you know what we were talking about before?
Finding a way out?
I have friends who have found me a way out. Old friends. They reward loyalty. Not something that Jaldar has ever understood.
Who are these old friends?
And she smiles in those teeth. They thought they'd killed her. But you cannot kill the cartel's crime lord. Amari Tavi walks and smiles in the face of destroyed droids. She was just waiting for her moment, and I suppose the moment came for me when Jaldar killed yet another one of my friends, and I knew that I had to do something. I'm so glad, and she smiles and takes your hands, that you could help me do this. We can be together. We can make this work.
I thought you wanted off planet.
When did I say I wanted off planet? I thought you wanted this.
Yeah, I do. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Now I have... Tavi has offered me the same opportunity that Set offered Jaldar. And I think you can appreciate that I will be a much better crime lord than he ever was. I will keep 1313 running the way it's supposed to, under the Hutt's control, not Black Sun's. All we have to do is get rid of Crom, and it's all ours. He didn't even... I hear that the Imperial, his bribe never even made it to the Imperials. But ours will. And she taps the suitcase. Now, Rich.
Yeah.
Do you think that Etma feels taken aback, like surprised, kind of like, you know?
Yeah.
I think I'd like you to mark a stress for this sudden turnabout
I'm about
of...
to be stressed out.
You are about to be stressed out, overwhelmed with stress. You know what that means.
Just on
You
the
can always
edge
make
now.
a stress move if you wish.
No, I know. I think. Yeah, I think.
Sorry to have suddenly turned everything around on
No,
you.
it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I love it. I think Tiva will just roll with this for right now because she needs some kind of win, and I think Adema will try to indulge in some physical intimacy with Inez, even though this is the worst possible person to be involved with. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. You're going to passionate kiss and embrace hands, and this is 1313 is ours for the taking. Yeah.
Oh God. All right. So this thing you stuck in here, indulging in stress move of indulging in meaningless sex. Oh, but it means so much. But that's fine. It's close enough.
Might make it meaningless intimacy, so it's not meaningless. I don't know. There must be a better word for it, right? Like, I'll think about it, because I don't want it to just be sex. I like the idea of it just being. Yeah.
I'll clear stress. Yay, the one that she just gave me. Oh, that's...
Well, she clears the stress as well, which means that she's even more on top of the world. She smiles and she kisses and she strokes his head and says, "We can be good business partners. You have yours. I know that you work for somebody other than Co. And the people I work for are interested in working with them as well."
Okay. We can make this work. Listen.
Just take care of Crom for me. I know you want to
help. I'll need some. He knows there's Cassie.
Listen, I know that you and Z go back. You need help? I know you have help. I'm not a little girl for you to take care of and rescue. But I can be your partner.
Okay, partner it is, but people I work for have to be able to move some things. And as partners, we let that happen. You run things. I make my people happy.
I mean, do you want to change the terms of anything at all, of her, what she said?
She seemed to intimate terms that, like, she knows I'm working for somebody and she's willing to make that happen.
But yeah, she's willing to make it happen on the condition that you on behalf of the people you represent, help take out the problem, because the cartel kind of knows that Black Sun got its edge on them because of Astapone's association, right? So if you deal with Black Sun, then we can do good business from here on out, right? But otherwise, the cartel's taking it back. And
so my question is, I've got somebody that I want to trust who can help me succeed in my mission, but I have to basically flip the script and I hope I can get away with it. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
and
Love it.
if you want to try and get the truth out of her,
That is
find
a
out
good point.
yeah, something that you could have done previously.
I know.
To
On a
not be so taken aback.
Ah, dang it. Thank you for
Uh,
reminding me that we're playing a game with moves and stuff. Yeah, I think I guess there's a well-used couch in that office. I don't know. It's our favorite couch.
mhm.
Let's see. Tell me a little more. You're saying Amara Tavi came back from the dead?
Tavi lives. She came back somehow. Sorry, I'm just being a dick and quoting the last Star Wars movie there. No,
I'm into
I couldn't resist. No, she says, Tavi, Amara Tavi is a hard woman to kill. If you didn't find her body, I would never. And they never did. Crom thought a thermal detonator took out her and another droid. But she made it out. And the cartel has just been waiting for Ko to bite off more than he could chew. I had his back, but he showed me that he'll never have mine.
Well, that's true. All right, I'm trying to get the truth from Inez now as she shares her revelation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a pitiful fail. That is the worst possible. Snake eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the little shelf for now.
Hard move shelf. Yep.
Hard move shelf. I just need to make that note in my thing. Rich. To get the truth. Okay. Downstairs below, Skara. What do you do when you?
Well, the big question right now is, do I still have the blaster carbine?
I think that you don't, but Tren did, and Tren's blaster carbine has just been flung out of her hands into the water, into the wreckage around you. You know, so you're in like the trash compactor bit with a blaster rifle somewhere around you in there, right?
Yeah.
And you're on a swoop bike. Those are your two assets here. Tren is screaming. Jaldar, you've come out of the the hatchway into this darkness, right? And one of your guys is like, I hear there are cannibals down here. I hear they eat people.
Jaldar actually has his blaster out, which is a little bit unusual because he's in this fine clothes, but it's all ripped up from the run and everything. And, he's looking real nervous, and you can see kind of the sweat beat up and everything on his bulbous head. It kind of wipes his face a little bit. And as they're kind of tracing through, I think they hear this noise. Can I hard frame getting into the same scene with Skara?
Oh, it was exactly going to be, I was going to have you arrive, just you hear this roar and these screams and whatever, right? And as you come round the side of this tunnel, you just see whatever it is we cut back to Skara's doing.
And I think that as we round that corner, everybody pulls their guns up and points them at Jaldar points his gun at Skara, and Skara points his, is like, getting ready to throw, and
yeah. She snatches up the gun, she hasn't got the gun, but she's on the speeder bike, and just as Tren gets yanked off it, you come around the corner, right?
Right.
Skara, what are you doing? Blaster rifle in the.
Yeah, I just start
Tren's hands are like pulling, gouging marks in the side of the tunnel as she gets pulled back towards this maw that most people don't see a Dianoga's mouth, and you hope that no one ever does again because it's awful.
Actually, exactly how big is it? That the maw?
The maw, I would say, is easily big enough to fit a whole sentient humanoid inside. This is a big Dianoga. It could swallow a
Yeah.
whole if she gets to that point. You know?
Is it big enough to drive a swoop bike into without getting eaten?
I mean, it's big enough to drive a swoop bike into. Whether or not you get eaten is, I think you'll have to jump off that swoop bike one way or the other.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive the swoop bike at it and try just to crash the bike into its mouth and dive off.
Cool.
Before.
That sounds like a push your luck. And I think that Jaldar is in the perfect situation to help or interfere if he wishes.
So I would help. Do I need to roll that beforehand?
That is after a PC is rolled, wager stress, and then roll.
Okay.
So we will have Skara roll the push your luck.
Yeah.
As Trent's like,
that's...
help me, help! Don't let
I
me
think
die like Leto.
Yeah, that's grit again. So that's an 11. Oh my god.
Nice. Jaldar, like you and your men like start like plinking off shots at this thing, but it's just the blaster bolts are just barely touching this huge monster, you know, like the skin's just so rubbery, it doesn't seem to care. And then Skara like just guns that swoop bike just as like Tren's fingers like slip on the wreck, like the wreckage breaks that she's held onto, and she's being pulled back towards that mouth. And Skara, you come, shoom, boom, dive off the bike just in time to pull Tren out of the grip of these tentacles, and the swoop bike goes explode, and you just hear this horrific screaming as the Dianoga is driven back by the fire and the flames, and the echoes go down. And Jaldar, one of your guys, goes, they'll have heard that. The cannibals, the underdwellers, they'll be coming for us soon. We got to get out of here. We got to get the hell out of here.
Okay, so I want to ask Anders, is it okay at this point if I show you how much of a dick Jaldar is?
Oh, for sure.
Fantastic. Okay,
go
great.
right ahead.
So at this point, Jaldar turns to Skara and says, "You idiot! That was our escape route. How we don't have transport anymore because you had to go off and shove it into the mouth of that beast. I'm shooting for a verbal abuse or shame to reduce stress. How about that?"
Nice.
Yeah.
Skara just saves everyone's lives down there with this incredible swoop bike maneuver.
I mean, everybody else hates Jaldar. Why not Skara too, right? So I rolled an 8, and verbally abuse or shame is with face. My face is a 2, so I got a 10. So I clear my stress track.
Skara marks a stress because your words hit hard, and you clear your stress track with 10 plus. And Tren is shocked and is looking backwards and forwards and like stands protectively in front of Skara as you're yelling. Tears streak down her face, and she goes, "You know, Skara, thanks, thank you." She just looks absolutely like shell shocked by this whole thing.
And I think so. Jaldar reaches out and grabs a hold of her by the front of her jacket and says, "Get your wits about you." And then we have to get out of here, and shoves her in front and starts forming a line so we can all continue on trying to find a way out of here.
Nice. Well, I mean, I think you have evaded your assailants who are after you by coming down here at all. You've dealt with the Dianoga. You've linked up, so there's just a track backup surface, right, which we can go over, but you guys feel free to, you know, if there's anything you want to say or do to each other on the way or anything like that. Otherwise, I imagine we'll be going back to to the Hawk's Nest and the Warrens, right? Like,
so Jaldar would absolutely be looking to see who is still loyal, right? Obviously, the guys who were running with me are still loyal, but I don't know about Skara. Did you have anything, Skara, that you wanted to try?
I'm not sure. I was thinking actually maybe of turning that abuse or shame back on you, but I'm not sure if, yeah, because kind of, yeah, I think I want to do that. Like you're starting to shove us around and get us moving, and Skara's going to like turn on you a bit, get in your face a bit, and say very loudly enough that everyone else here can hear. Unless your plan was for just you and maybe one other person getting out, crashing the swoop bike doesn't matter anything.
Be meaner. You're
Yeah,
verbally abusing. You got to
I
be much
just,
meaner. You got to be much meaner to trigger that
yeah.
move, I think, Anders.
You just wanted to leave everyone else behind here and run off like the carking coward you are.
Ooh, nice. Now
Yeah.
roll it.
Good, good.
It's a rare game where I'm like, no, be a shittier person. Apologies for the swears.
Yeah, so that's with
That
face.
is with face, which you're pretty good at, I think.
Yeah, I've got a +1 instead of a -1. That's good. And that's another 11.
11 on abusing Jaldar. Nice. So Jaldar marks a stress as those words hit. And, I imagine this is kind of like you blow up at Skara, and this is as you're walking up the corridor, like back through kind of thing. And there's a moment like where, like she stumbles and you turn around and you're like, oh, come on, like, what are you waiting? Like, why are you dragging us down, Skara? And then Skara's like, I've had enough of your crap, you coward, kind of thing.
And I think what we see is Jaldar raises his hand and then stops and says, I still need you. And all the other gang members who came with me all watch this and kind of make note.
I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So, yeah. You guys are clear. I think now it is back to Crix. And I would like Jaldar to roll that big shot move now, please.
Oh yeah. Big shot is with face. Okay. So I got an 8 with a face of 2 as a 10.
A
So
10. Yeah. All three. They keep their wits and focus, they minimize incriminating evidence, and they avoid collateral damage.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Crix, you have made it away from the entanglement at the police station. It's not the neatest crime scene. There's more questions surrounding you. Very definitely, your luck is being played out quite far at this point, I think, in terms of oversight. What's your next move?
Go back down the alleyway where Trogo is.
Oh, I think you have to leave this scene. I mean, that's part of leaving this whole area. This.
Oh, okay.
He came out of the alleyway, like with the thing, like you had to leave immediately or get caught up in this. Like this is the problem, is that now there's a dead body, an empty briefcase, and a lot of questions around this stuff.
Okay.
You have headed it off, like you've not been caught doing it, but it's yet another crime scene that Crix Herrer is left a lot of loose ends around and doesn't quite add up, but you got away with that by just, riding the populist wave before. Maybe it'll work out this time. Maybe you won't need to.
Then I will go back. I will get into my vehicle with my partner and start to drive away, trying to get in touch with Batty.
Batty does not pick up.
I look over at Tuk Tuk and I go, where are we supposed to meet her?
I don't know. You're the boss, right, Hera? Maybe like back at yours?
No, I don't want to go to a place where people know I am. So let's just go someplace where I am definitely never been seen before, and wait to hear from Batty.
You've never been to my place.
You have a place?
It's like, yeah, by the near the space, like just below the spaceport, you know. Well, when he
Okay.
says just below, he means several hundred levels below the spaceport. But you know, there's a turbo lift that goes straight up there. It's part of the customs gig.
That sounds perfect. Let's go there.
Yeah, and as you guys pull off, you see three familiar-looking enforcers from Jaldar's organization. You know, like sat in a speeder, unmarks in a stolen speeder in traffic, and as you pull off down your way, they loop it. They slowly filter into the traffic behind you. This is not a thing that Crix Hera sees, unfortunately, because this is the result of the big shot being a 10+. Is that not only did they keep their wits and focus and minimize incriminating evidence and avoid any collateral damage, they also clocked you and were like, boss is going to want to know where Crix is, never mind his apartment.
All right.
So you have a tail as you arrive at Tuk Tuk's, which I think is what kind of place? I think that Tuk Tuk lives in sort of like a it's an old it's two old like Clone Wars ships that landed here and then were just built around, and like it's been converted into like apartments, you know. Like at one point there was like a huge shaft that took this out onto the spaceport, and now it's just become built in all of the way. But he lives in like the engineering section of one of these old cruisers, and it has like a little ramp, you know, like the ramp that goes to get into the door. But he climbs in through like a little hatch, comes in and and then, you know, as you're going in, still trying to ring Batty on the phone, you notice this speeder come to a halt, and three very familiar looking guys get out. We cut back to Etama.
Yeah.
What's your play here, Etama?
I think before Etama's going to head to refuge, she's going to try to reach out to Astropon. See if she can get in contact with her. Maybe go find her.
Yeah. You ring, you know, you send the message to secure comms to Astropon, right? And she sends back that it's not safe, you know, meet at this safe house. You know, it's like a midway point in between 1313 and the upper levels. It's a part of her family's like shipping business, like a disused like maintenance bay kind of thing. You've been there before. And do you hook up with, well, Batty is waiting in the speeder outside 8 Lives. You know, as you come out, she like turns and stops talking to the CSF guys, and then a squad of stormtroopers land as well and file out of the ship, and you can see the imperious-looking Lieutenant Shatterblade walking down in his cap and his uniform, white cloak around him, you know, looking disdainfully at the dirt that clings to it already. And he strides in with a squad of Stormies, and you swear that his eyes almost rest on you for a second as he goes inside. And you can just see greeting him at the door is Inez with a big smile and a briefcase full of credits. And yeah, Batty, you know, pulls the speeder next to you, winds the window down and goes, so where to next?
Head up to the surface. I'm going to meet with Astropon. Lock some things down.
Okay. tell you what, you drive. You know the way. I'll keep her. She hands the controls over the speeder to you and sits in the passenger seat looking out the window. Yeah, and you make it to Astapone's safe house.
Before we go in there, I think at this point, needing somebody to talk to.
Yeah? Are you going to confess?
I think so. I think she's just going to spill at this point to steal from Bite Marks, another amazing PBTA game.
Yeah, I think we can go with that. I think you've built enough common ground with the previous conversation about both being survivors and both having bosses, and doing things that you don't like and everything, enough for them to be like a confidant kind of thing.
Yeah, I think Confess Your Sins is another one of those moves that we could tweak a
Yeah.
little bit of the verbiage so that it's because it's a great scene to have.
Yeah, I do think confess your sins to a confidant rather than a counselor or a priest necessarily.
That's a nice touch up.
And I
You're
think
masterful at this, Will.
I think that confess your sins still works though, because I think it has to be around like the bad things that you've done.
It's gotta be. Totally.
Confess your Sith.
Betty, I don't think Inez wants to go. I think I completely misjudged this. She's in, and she's in deep. The cartel wants to prop her up. She's probably just going to be a figurehead. I mean, maybe not, but now she wants me to kill Set Crom.
And what's the problem? Isn't he a bad guy?
Oh,
I mean, I wouldn't think twice before loading my blaster pistol into Set Crom, Jaldarko, or any of these Slemos.
You're not wrong.
So what do you think you've done wrong here?
My mission was to prop up Set Crom's interests to help Jaldar so that we could help the people who aren't involved in all this mess. And I guess I can still do that. I just got to make sure that Astapone buys in on it.
I'm sure you can persuade Astapone. But I mean, I suppose what I'm trying to get is, what's the sin here, Rich? Like, why do you feel bad?
That's true. Why does she feel bad? That's thank you. I thought Inez and I were a bit. I thought we had something to build off of. I thought I was saving her, but
so it feels like the sin is I thought that this was somebody to save, but it's turned again into somebody that I just need to use for my mission. Okay, I like that. Roll plus hustle.
Okay. I need to stop rolling with hustle, but okay.
I mean, what would your good one be for a stress move? It would be grit, which is
she's
the drug
super
moves.
savage. She's all about savagery. That's a 7.
That's a 7.
Form penance.
Well, on a hit, you find forgiveness. Clear your stress track.
It's been since game 1 when I had a clear stress track, friends.
I think I misread it the first time when you did it to paid.
I think I do too.
It should have cleared the whole thing rather than just one.
No, I missed it because remember I had the -1 ongoing. So
yes, that was it. Yeah.
So you didn't do anything wrong. I just can't roll for crap.
That's true. If you guys took experience, you would all be like 20th level.
Level up. I would be the next Dark Lord of this something.
So yeah,
Dark Lord the Whiff.
on a 7 to 9, you must perform your penance before you return to confession. And Batty goes, listen, I get that you feel bad. I get that you don't want to use people. But that's this life, right? And so far, I'm not seeing anything different. You'll be the first time I see someone who does something good just for the sake of doing something good. It'll be the first. So I get that you feel bad. But, you know, Criff happens. You shouldn't beat yourself up about it too much. And yeah, so that is, you would need, if you wanted to confess to her again, like you would need to demonstrate to her that you do actually mean some of this stuff rather than just more empty words, right? Like,
It's good. That's really good. I like that
Yeah.
a lot.
And you make it, you know, you come into, I think you're having this conversation, right, as you're sat in the speeder outside the Astapone thing, and Batty looks around and goes, looks clear. You go inside. It's quiet. And there's no one, it doesn't seem like there's anyone here. And then Astapone's waiting for you in an empty room, drinking, you know, some frothing, like Star Wars moonshine that was clearly brewed in this thing, looking extremely stressed, haggard, like worn. And you step around the corner and she says, Etima, what the, everything's gone to shit, you know? Like, we got to get out of here. Our ISB's right on our, and then you hear click behind you. Hello, Astapone. Yasanai Sard says hello. And Astapone takes a blaster bolt straight to the chest.
Oh!
And that's where we'll call our break. For, yeah. Should we say, Etima, I think we're going to leave on that cliffhanger there still, but I do think that's an appropriate time for you to mark a stress for
Just never keep that slate clean. Yeah,
no,
that
it's a
seems
stressful life being a secret agent of the rebellion inside 1313, an already stressful place. Yeah.
It's true.
Skara, Jaldar, Jaldar, you, as soon as you break surface, you get comms from your men. Hera's not going back to his place. He's heading to his partners, and he gives you the address. You know, I'm hearing 8 Lives is under new management.
And who would that be?
I don't know, but someone's paid off the Imperials, and it doesn't look like it's Crix.
Well, first, we have to get the money, and then we'll have to handle the Black Sun because they are going to come after us. But if we get that money, we can probably buy our way out of this. So let's, yeah. I'll meet you at the address you gave me, and we'll all see what we can do about Crix. Crix must have the money still.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll wait for you to get here, boss.
Yep.
Oh,
and I turn to Skara and I say, Skara, round up all your people, anyone who owe you favors. Like, most of the gang is gone. Most of my gang is gone. I'm going to lean heavily on your group.
Mm.
You're looking at us.
And I actually think that you did make it back to the Hawk's Nest. You know, like you came up somewhere around there, and you're sort of like cleaning off all of your stuff. Jaldar's probably like putting on some of Cyric's like fancy garb to like you know, like get rid of his completely stained and useless coat that's been shot to shreds as well. And that is when what's he called? Cyric like staggers around the corner, you know, and he's like all like beat up and tattered and everything, and he hugs Tren, and he's like, "You made it, guys!" And now there's the 3 of you, and that's about it. Really, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, now is a chance for Skara, if you want, if you're willing to just take the boss's word for it, or if he needs to press you into it, or if he needs to propose a deal to make it worth your while. Or you can just go along with it as a player, you know, like it's entirely up to you when those moves trigger. But it depends on what Skara wants to get out of this.
Yeah, I think after we getting hit hard and Jaldar obviously having been in some kind of fight that cost him, I think I'm going to need some kind of assurance that he's still in control, that he still has some pull.
Okay.
Jaldar says, you know me, okay? Listen, we're gonna get out of this because we always do. And you have to decide, are you going to go over to the other side and get gunned down by us? I mean, it was the fucking Hutts, man. It was the Karkin Hutts, man. The Hutts, they just... And we gave a big bribe to the Imperials. And Crix was supposed to be the go-between. And you just heard on the comms that the Imperials didn't get our bribe. So it went somewhere. And we have to figure out where it went.
So are you offering something in particular, or are you just trying to get by on like
follow me,
magnetism?
Don't follow me, but regardless, I'm following the money. And if you want to follow the money, you need to come with me. And it was not a small sum.
Sounds to me as though you're proposing a deal, like you get a taste of these credits, and
it could be that, or it could also be pressure someone, whichever one he wants, depending on whether or not.
I think that's more you choose which way it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. So I think it would be
someone is I'm the boss, respect me.
Yeah.
Propose a deal is you'll be rewarded if you go along with this.
Okay, sounds good. I think it's propose a deal.
Propose a deal.
Yeah.
Roll with face.
Yeah. My face is a 2, and I rolled a 7, so that's a 9 total.
It's a 9. So Skara can now choose one: impose a condition on the offer, adjust the price, and accept, or point you at somebody who's interested. Now,
so let me set the price before there's any adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
I had 5 guys who came with me, so there's 6, and he had 2, so that's 8. And I think we would be splitting it. Jaldar, right? Jaldar's a jerk. He would say, I keep 50, and you guys get the other 50. To split amongst the 8 of you, right?
Nice, I like it. Yeah, so that's the original price, is that you get part of the same cut that everybody else here gets, you know? So condition or more credits, I think, is the 2 options there. Point at an interested party would be, I think in terms of PCs, is you basically just saying I'm not interested, full stop, you know, frankly.
I need to look at my keys. Yeah, I think I'll take that if you put me in charge.
In charge of what?
Your guys.
So you want to be the enforcer?
Mm-hmm.
So my enforcer is Inez, but Inez hasn't been here for me, and I just heard maybe Inez is dead at this point because someone else took over 8 lives. So you can be in charge until I sort things out with Inez, and if Inez is out of the picture, yeah, you can be the lead enforcer. Good promotion for you. We work well together. We'll be good.
I will say that I think on the basis of the demand made, it can't be if Inez is out of the picture. It is Inez is you know, even if Inez is around, Skara is your guy, you know, like
yeah.
Isn't it
let me
Vic?
rephrase it.
Isn't it Vic? Because you don't know Vic's dead.
No, I don't know Vic's dead.
Yeah.
Isn't he the head of the enforcers?
He is the head of the security detail. I caught that, but I think that Jaldar is a sloppy boss as well. And he kind of just refers to all of his minions as the head of his enforcers.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, you are my number one guy.
That's exactly right. I thought I put Inez in charge of 8 lives.
You put Etimir in charge of 8 Lives. Vic
Yeah.
took over as like the
Oh,
head of your
okay.
security guys, and Inez was kind of like in charge of all of your operations sort
Okay.
of stuff.
Okay. So, and then what Skara wants is to be in charge of the enforcers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it sounds like you're saying you're happy to take that, to make that deal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
that's the
absolutely the
deal.
case. We work well together. We can do that. Whenever
You
it
should-
comes down to it, you might have to get your hands dirty to take care of the previous.
And Sirik is saying like, oh, you should have seen it. She already took out that swoop gang. She already took a blow against the cartel. You know, we're hitting back, Jaldar. We're hitting back for you, Co, for you.
That's right. And
Shame about they till, but
and we will all come out much more well off because of this. I will remember each and every one of your faces.
nice. I like it. So you guys you're going to go and head over to Batty's location, right? That sounds like it is, yeah. To Hera's location. Crix. Well, because that's where you said you were going to meet they told your enforcers to wait and
Absolutely.
for you to come. And I think given that you rolled a 10 on that one, they've not tipped their hand yet. So they are, the problem that they've taken care of is tracking down Crix and whatever happened to your money. And Crix is inside the ship, inside this the thing, and there is a suspicious-looking speeder outside.
I look over at Tuk Tuk and I go, "This is your place. You got a back way out of here?"
Yes, but you won't fit.
We can make it fit.
And he goes, and he pops open a patch, and it's like the size of him. You know, it's like literally a thing, and he's like,
I go, "There's got to be another place. Or you got a cutting torch? We can open this up a little bit bigger."
Listen, Hera, just give me my cut and I'm gonna go, okay? Like, this is getting too hot. It's all going to hell. I thought you had a plan, but I can find my way out here alone. You know, let's just go our own ways.
It's also not splittable. It's not cuttable at this moment. When we get out of here, we can cut it.
I don't believe that. Well, then give me it. Look, let me look after it. I'll meet with you later.
No.
Well then. Where's the trust, partner?
Exactly. And what I want to do is I want to grab him.
Turn to violence then, I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
You mark a stress. No, in fact, you know what?
Actually,
he is a smaller guy. You do have, I think.
I want to dish out a beat down.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. No, I think that, I was like, I think narrative, in the mood mechanically wise, like typically, but you do outweigh Tuk Tuk by a great deal, and like he's a bit cocky. He hasn't realized that you're right up next to him and you can grab him. And he's about to like just step through this hatch, and wave goodbye to you. And then you just grab hold of him. And now it's dish out a beatdown, roll with savagery.
Oh God, I'm not good with savagery, and the consequences are bad if I do not want to kill him. But let's see, what is my savagery? -1.
Ooh, dear. That's a 5.
I kill him, don't I?
No. You grab him. You slam him up against the side of the ship, right? And he squawks, and his hands flare, and you're banging him against it, right? And you're going like, "It's not splittable. Be reasonable!" And like you're yelling and banging him against it, and he bounces off it, and he grabs his little hands like, and he hits the button, and then like just like some machinery on the wall like pops out, and a little stun blast just goes boof, and you are doof. Mark another point of stress, and you black out. All
That's
goes
not
black.
good.
And so, yeah, guess what's gonna? We cut back to Etima. Astapone, straight in the chest. Her glass just like falls out of her hand and she spins round on the chair and topples over on the ground. And Batty stood with a blaster, like a good couple of meters away from you. And she's got this cold look on her face and she says, we are going to be leaving 1313 soon. I hear the Lusyanka is lovely this time of year.
What the griff did you do that for?
Poor little girl. You've been kept in the dark so long, you don't even know what's going on here. You work for the rebels. I work for the other side. Crix was just a way in. That file on you didn't say much. Didn't know who your contact was. Didn't know where these weapons were getting in. But you're a sucker for a pretty face, aren't you? Even mine. And it ain't so pretty.
I mean, I'd argue that point. I'm sizing her up.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Please, just one good roll. Of course, 9. Okay, 9 on size someone up.
Mm-hmm. It is an ask one.
Yep. God, it's like current weaknesses versus intent to do next. So tempting. Like take her down or try to figure something out.
I'll tell you for free that a card that perhaps you don't know that you have in your back pocket in this whole arrangement is the Black Sun, shipment of your weapons would be how she could track down other rebel cells, if you wanted to blag her that way.
Yeah.
But I think to get the plus, you'd have to ask a question and how you would spin that,
I just
so
looked
which
up
is
lag, so we're on. So
oh, sorry.
It's all good.
Slip right into the colloquialisms.
It was this many days old. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with current weaknesses, but I may or may not attack her. So, what are your current weaknesses / strengths?
That leg doesn't look like it's healed properly since the firefight. She's favoring the right side. Doesn't seem like she can see too clearly out of that eye either. Looks like she got out of the Bacta before she was done. Almost like she had a mission that was more important than getting back on her feet properly.
May have cut the head off of this snake. But you're not going to get anything more out of her, are you?
True. But I have you.
You do. You do. So, what's next?
She slips out a pair of the cuffs off a belt, throws them to you. Put those on.
You know there are other rebel cells that I'm in communication with.
Of course. Why do you think I'm taking you in? Unless... What's your angle here, Atsuma? I'm curious.
Well, really, one I was after was Inez. And reach down, pick up the binders, and then fling them at her. I'm turning to violence. I'm headed
Nice.
towards the right-hand side, and
Nice.
yeah, that's it. So I'm acting on that information. So I
That's a
will
+2.
take my +2. I'm rolling with savagery. This is what I'm good at. Sad that I try so hard not to be violent. And jeez, squeak by. Good God.
Squeaked by. Nice.
Yeah. On hit, mark stress and trade harm as established. So, yeah, my harm is. I don't think she took my blaster or anything, right? But I'm okay
no,
with
I don't
just
think she
hitting her.
did.
I think I'm on top of her. I
I think you're right on top of it. You won't take a shot in response to this unless you'd roll badly, you know? You will.
Yeah.
You'll take like
I'm
a
more
smack
than
there.
happy to inflict terrible harm
Okay.
and suffer little harm. I don't care about collateral damage or marking that stress. So
Cool. Yeah. You mark another stress from as you get, you know, like you wrestle her, the blaster bolt, like the blaster is pointed right at your face, and then you jerk it out of the way, and it like sizzles past your skin, right? Like if you had hair, it would be gone now, right? But instead, all you've got is a light tan from this, and it explodes, and the debris like goes into her eyes, and she staggers back, and you roll over, grab Astapone's like fallen glass, and just turn around and straight into her face, and she just topples, like, and you know, if this wasn't Star Wars, there would be blood. But given that it's Star Wars, it's just thud to the ground, face down, and then just like, you know, sort of black charring thing around her head and nothing else. But she is very much dead, very messily.
Yeah, I'm getting her weapon, any idents, especially any cylinders, and I am gonna get the heck out of Dodge.
Nice. Okay. We leave with you, you know, looking over the body and searching it, and Astapone just staring glassy-eyed over at you, sank back against the thing, maybe like a little rebellion, you know, New Republic kind of emblem, getting soaked through with blood until it's invisible against the red on the chest.
So good.
And yeah, then we cut over to Jaldar and Skara, who arrive at Tuk-Tuk, and your guys have already gone in, right? They heard this noise inside, and they went in, and Crix is basically like, you know, shoved in one corner on a chair, bound, like slowly coming to with a stun headache, and a few reinforcers are sat around like, we found, you know, you told us to wait, but we heard some noise in there. We came in. He was stunned on the floor. The little guy was gone, and he ain't got the credits that we can see.
So I say, good job, and I think I reach over and probably grab like some blue milk that's there on the counter, and I toss it in Crix's face to wake him up.
And I come to, and I just say, "Where is that ass?"
Crix, we're all asses here.
And I look up at Jaldar and I go, "Can you stop surrounding yourself with horrible people? That Vic guy stole your money."
Yeah.
He took my blaster. He shot him out. He shot up everything, and he ran off with your money. I've been trying to track him down. I think Tuk-Tuk was in on it. When I came here with him, trying to confront him, he set me up for some sort of weird trap. Those little things do.
So Vic was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, this is going to require justifying behavior from Crix first. But if you wanted to clarify things, Stephen.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's let the dice kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I read it is that if someone's lying like this, they get to do a justify your behavior, but that doesn't mean that you can't still do a get the truth if you choose to keep your own counsel. Yeah.
You have to let me know what the rolls are because I'm
That is a-
still here with size 'em up from Edema.
That is 5. You don't have anything in hustle? You have 2 in hustle. That's a 7.
I have 2 in hustle. 7.
That's 7. So on a 7, PCs can choose to either mark an XP by accepting your reasoning or mark a stress to keep their own counsel, which means that they don't have to take your word, you know?
Yeah. So I'll mark a stress, and Jaldar says, you know, Vic was with me, and then he disappeared during that fight with the Hutts. And we might not know who to trust at this point. But I also know the cops showed up whenever I told you not to let them. So either you turned on me and the cops showed up, or you're incompetent and the cops showed up.
Cops were already there.
You do know you did also specifically see Crix fleeing when you were in trouble. Yeah.
That's right.
With Vic in the back seat with a blaster to my back.
Ooh.
So yeah, I think this is get to the truth.
Okay, roll plus hustle.
That's hustle. My hustle is a -1.
By the way, Crix believes every lie he says.
Yeah, at some level though, even if he believes every lie, he does know that that's not what happened.
So, this will be fun. I rolled a 6. My hustle is a -1, so I got a 5.
Crix, I am willing for you. So he doesn't. It means that you can tell whatever lie you like, and Jaldar will be none the wiser. But you know what? I'm going to put the hard move in your hands as well, if you like. You know, in terms of perhaps what opportunity is offered to Crix in this area. You know.
So the ball's in whose court right now?
Yeah. Although Skara, you can always help or interfere with rolls as well in this scene because you are present.
But I don't think he can get me above from a 5 up, right?
I think. Yeah, you can only give a +1. So yeah, that's true.
So I think the ball is in. Jaldar just said, sure, but the cops came in while I was handling the Hutts and shouldn't have after the discussion that we had. And your response was, no.
The cops were already there.
Yeah.
I got there as fast as I could. As soon as I did, Vic got in the back of the car, put a blaster to my back, and had me drive off. I tried to look at you to give you a sign to let you know that I was still on your side.
And I think Jaldar kind of shakes his head and says, screw all this. And he takes a blaster and he shoves it in your face and he says, where's my money?
I don't know. Where is Vic?
I think that when Skara sees that this is really getting out of control and Jaldar obviously isn't able to pay them right now like she had expected, she's going to pull Trem and I forget his name, the laser brain.
Garrick, yeah. I think. Cyric.
Like aside, like back a bit and tell them this is not working out. We can't work with this guy. He's unreliable. He's just messing around. He's going to get us all killed. We need to find someone else.
And even though I think that, meta-wise, this is definitely telling them to do something less dangerous, I think it is out of the ordinary. So I think you're rolling brother here to try and get the gang to follow your lead on this entirely,
That sounds absolutely reasonable. And
especially Cyric.
Yeah, that's with hustle, so it's a +2. An 8.
Choose one of them.
Yeah. Ooh. they all go along with the plan. That's the important part.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And Tren, just like, nods like slowly and like jerks her head towards you and walks back in the room. Sirik is like, and as soon as you like slip outside, you walk past the enforcers leaving Jaldar to it. The enforcers just don't really like glance at you. You're beneath them, right? You're street scum. And as you're walking away, Sirik is like, but how are we going to get paid? He has the money. How are we going to get paid? We need to make some money, Skara.
Yeah, Jaldar doesn't have any money. You heard him. Crix doesn't have the money.
Yeah.
Jaldar doesn't know what it is.
And we don't have the money either. God, crap.
I
basically, I'm going to leave you with that soft move of wherever you're going to go next. Sirik is expecting some immediate gratification on this front.
Yeah. And I think Skara is kind of torn between trying to get into touch with Etema because they have this history. Maybe she has something, or trying to figure out whoever has control of the 8 lives and see if that's someone they can work with. I'm not sure which.
I think playing on your ties to Etema just to find that out, maybe. Like you have a pre-existing relationship. That she looks out for you, even though you wish that she would treat you like like an adult. You can get involved in the criff.
Well, don't worry, you've already got a pre-existing relationship with Skara too, because he's a surefire. You've got a surefire money-making plan with him.
Oh, with Crix.
Crix.
But you have just left you behind. And
the way things were looking in there, that plan looks. It seems unlikely that you'll be able to effectuate any useful plan in the near future. So I think Skara will try to calm Etema.
Nice. Well, why don't we find out where Etema's?
Yeah. Hey, so I got a new speeder.
Got a new speeder. You got a blaster. You've got you have fake. You have somebody else's CSF credentials. And Skara basically has ended that last scene saying that she doesn't think that Jaldar's worth following anymore. So she's reaching out to you to try and get some direction.
Nice. So let me ask a quick background question. Does Etema know any other rebels, or was it just Astapone dropping her in the middle of 1313 and Astapone her only contact?
I think that the way that it would work would be Astapone is your handler, and you have like a way to make contact, but it's like anonymous. You know what I mean? It's like a ring this number and ask for Dave kind of thing. Like you have other rebel contacts, but like they're not in your cell, they're not in your thing. You are currently in the wind as far as and it's trying to make.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure that I wasn't going off somewhere and you're like, wow, that was not.
No. Cool. No. Literally the only thing was I have one rebel character in this, and there are more of them in the ether somewhere. Somewhere around the lines. General Kraken is moving things on a Dijak board.
Yes. Yeah. So I think what happens is Etema has her comm unit. She of course has grabbed everything that she could filch off of the. I don't even know if Etema knows this is an ISB agent, but maybe she thinks that. Anyway, she's grabbed all that stuff and she's on her comm unit about to call. I think it's not ask for Dave, maybe ask for Wedge. When Skara's call comes through, and
it's what is it? It is rogue deliveries. How may I help?
Nice. And then rogue deliveries. How may I help? And I see the calls start to come through in my comm unit. I need help. Reach me back. It's an emergency. And then I'm in the call.
I think you hear. I'm so very sorry to hear that. We'll be right on it.
And I flip over to Skara. Skara, thank God. Hey.
Do you guys want to meet up in person? You know, like hard frame to a scene where you're in person together?
Ooh, yeah. Let's do it at the Sarlacc's belly.
Oh, right in the heart of Secrom's.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Just in case I decided to do the thing.
Yeah, I like it. And we're going to take this as you're just there. You know, there's no like getting by. How you got into Secrom's club wearing your thing? Maybe even flash those CSF badge right at someone. And they just were like, you know, like leave him alone. We know what the score is here. And you sat down at a back with you like one of the Mos Eisley things with your hood up. You know, like sat on the thing. And Skara, I guess you're bringing your crew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you three come in and you know the bouncers like stop and one of them goes like no disintegrations.
No worries.
Yeah, and he scowls down at Cyric, who like puffs his chest up and then wilts suddenly underneath it, and Tren just grabs him and hauls him inside with you. And yeah, you come. You know, we cut to you on that table with Cyric, Tren looking like, you know, sat with a back to it, like looking out of the crowd, and Cyric just you know, drinking like one and then another and then another.
Yeah. Jaldar has completely lost it. He's lost the money. His contacts are drying up. He's lost a bunch of people in some shootout or something. I don't know what to do.
I know what to do. I need your help. Listen.
Sure.
Skara, are you okay?
She looks at Tren and then kind of shrugs and yeah, sure.
I think it's the first time that Atima looks up and notices that your gang seems to be a little smaller than the last time.
Oh well, I think even Tren, you know, as you say that you're okay, and says Latil's not okay.
Yeah, and that kind of plays out on Skara's face, but she doesn't say anything. Just you can see that hurts, but yeah.
Here's the deal. Jaldar Co was set up. He's the wrong guy to be in charge down here. Setcrom put somebody in charge who would make a whole lot of messes, and that's all Jaldar's doing. I tell you this because I care about you, Skara. We take out the guy behind the man on the throne, and then I'll make sure that you and I can work for the person that steps in.
And Cyric says, and how much will that pay?
Skara, you know me. I've always tried to take care of you. You keep working for Jaldar Co. You're going to get disintegrated or worse.
Yeah, but like, and she gestures at Cyric and Trem. It's just us. We can't take out the boss of the boss.
I think, first of all, we're right here. We're in the belly of the beast. I've got some weapons on me because I flashed an ID.
It's someone here?
Yeah. Zekrom is right here. We take him down. And then we can work for the new boss. Z won't be hunting you anymore. We can get things calm and profitable and a lot safer for you and even Crix over here.
Cyric, I think you mean, but yeah.
Cyric, yeah, and even
Yeah.
Cyric over here. Dren, all of you.
No, it's fine. Don't correct him.
He wants to be in a different scene.
Oops.
Are you proposing a deal here? I think.
I think I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna propose a deal. Probably should have sized you up, but that's fine. Actually, no, I'm gonna size you up first. Yeah. So I say the thing and then I'll size you up. That's it. I'm doing it. I'm just that. I'm just that bad at things that I need bonuses. So
That's a 10.
Yeah, I get 3 questions. First one is, how can I get you to help me kill Zekrom?
Ooh. I think if you promise that this will work out, that you believe that this will work out, then Skara's going to accept it. You just need to assure her. She's desperate. She's willing to go along, but she needs you to
promise that it'll all be good and you'll look after her no matter what happens.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go ahead and ask my other questions. How can I show you dominance or submission?
Ooh. It would have to be dominance at this point, and I think just taking charge and telling her what to do.
And this is 3. What's your current weakness?
Skara is fragile and scared and desperate to find some kind of safety, because everything she's tried so far has gone to shit, basically. She thought she thought she was going to make a big move and like move up with Jaldar. And she got her friend killed, and now Jaldar is useless. So
it sounds like what Skara wants is to be safe, right? And so, like, if Etamarov's, and there's you went up against the cartel, right? And the cartel hit back hard, everybody, right? And currently, if Blacksun's gone, then you're all on your own, right? And Etamar is promising, take care of Zekrom, and Blacksun's gone. And the cartel won't care about little people like you anymore, and we can be part of whatever comes next.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's propose a deal with a +2. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm almost tempted to just give you the advantage forward after all of this, and just give you the automatic 10+ like it says to do in the cartel book. If Anders is okay with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yay!
So yeah, take the deal as it stands on mark stress, Skara.
Yeah, she will take the deal.
Okay. And her lackeys, they buy in because Skara does it?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think we already did the they go along with the plan kind of stuff, so they're in for whatever Skara's going to do. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I want to take down Set Crom, and I don't want to do it face to face. But I've only got a blaster, so I've got to get close. And I'm thinking we use.
You do have that. You do have that move that you used last time to get somebody in as well.
Oh, that's true. I've got strategy.
And I can't think of a better way to show Skara that her cartel problems will go away than to have the notorious Z or somebody else from the cartel show up to be part of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's one of those
Yeah.
like flashback deals where I call on Z. Z shows up, and then if we're good with that,
I was going to cut. I think
will-
we've made the deal, and I think that we cut to Set Crom, fighting multiple droids, including that Boxy that we had before, and just takes out Boxy's legs entirely, and he rolls back, going like, "Ah, you cad!" As Set Crom destroys like 3 more, and then we cut back to the confrontation between these 2 guys, Jaldar and Crix.
So I want to ask a question real quick. I have an idea of how to get everyone in on a last scene kind of thing where everyone kind of combines. Is that something we're aiming towards, or do you want to resolve this?
I am happy to do that. I mean, that'd be cool. I was also happy, the nature of cartel could be that either one of you could get shot in the next 5 seconds, right, and never have a chance to do so. However you want to play it, Stephen, but I think you know what the other guys are on.
Yeah. Do you want to try and get okay? So I think that Jaldar turns to Crix and says, "Fine. Someone has to be a Black Sun scapegoat. Might as well be you. You'll answer to Set Crom. And I pick you up. My guys put you in the back of the speeder, like in the trunk, and we're all going to go to Set Crom's to the Sarlacc's belly to basically, Set Crom will get out of you where all that money is. So we can be on site now whenever all the shit goes down."
Now, Crix, you are overwhelmed.
Yes.
Is there a stress move that you might like to make here? Like as you reach, you're about to be bundled into the back of a.
Unless Jaldar is willing to take his clothes off, or he's going to hand me a bottle of liquor, there's not much I can really do right now.
Confess your sins, desperately plead for your life as you confess what you've done.
You can also verbally abuse me, or if you want, there could be some, drugs and shit in the trunk.
Actually, whoever is also with you, how many guys do you still have left with you?
So I think I have 5. I had 5 guys.
I think you've got your full 10 with you now because you've all reconvened.
But Skara and his 3 guys left, right?
Yeah, they were the additional to your forces. Yeah. So they were like your reinforcements.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So I've got about 10 guys. Not all of them are going to go in the truck with me. And I've only named the Gran. The Gran's name is Dro.
Oh, actually, yeah. If you've got drugs, I'll take drugs. That'll work.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure there's drugs in the trunk, right? This is stuff that would be ready to be sold. You don't know the quality of them, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I think even in this case, you're not in like the trunk. You're in like the back of the van of the thing, like a cargo space, and there's a guy like sat watching you, and there's like just this canister of whatever you want it to be rolling around on the floor, and he doesn't care if you do it or not because as far as he's concerned, you're a dead man, and it's Drull, and Drull's just like, "You're in deep poodoo, friend."
That's fine. I will try whatever it is.
What do you want? Let's say that it is. I think it would make sense for it to be waste it.
All right. So
roll plus grit.
I could do that. I had to reload. It still says rolling from the last roll.
Yeah, I do think these test rooms are less stable than the full release.
Yeah, let's see. 6. Roll.
That is an 8 on lose yourself in the stubborns. The drugs take a toll, take a drug move off the list. And you know what? You can choose any of the drug moves from any of the drugs, frankly, as far as I'm concerned. It's whichever one you think is the most interesting one for you to do. Let slip something to the wrong person, hurt yourself to keep the demons at bay, start a fight, push someone who cares. Well, I can't see how you could push someone who cares about you away in this particular desperate situation.
Basically, I'm going to break one of my arms trying to get it out of the restraints.
You do it, right, and the slick, right, like it hits hard, and as you do it, he's just giggling, right, and he's laughing, and you try and like move your arms, and like you jerk, and he's just like laughing at you, and then you wrench, and I'm going to say that gives you a -1 forward to physicals, to savagery. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Let's
see.
But you do get to clear your stress entirely, I believe. Yeah, you clear your stress track on a hit.
Oh, right. Good thing I just will not get into some physical violence.
Yeah, and you pull up at the Sarlacc's belly, Jaldar. And yeah, I mean, there's back rooms here, right? I imagine. I think that this is going to take place in Sekhrom's cage animal pit. You know, like where he keeps all of the the beasts that he's going to fight in. They're going to have fighting in the pit, and so there's like a rancor behind, like a force field in the background, slumped in chains. And there's all those little spiders from Fallen Order that I can't remember the name, like webbed up in another chamber. And in another chamber, there is just a guy pacing backwards and forwards, a Trandoshan, with a stun collar on his neck and a big thing. And Sekhrom, that's where Sekhrom is in the club at the moment. Jaldar, when you arrive, his men, look to each other and nod you in, round the back kind of entrance, where they deliver the animals and the fighters and, the occasional bait like Hera here as he stumbles out from the back, high on slick. Etima, Skara, what's your approach? And it can be quite broad, so we can have everyone down in this pit at some point, but I'm just wondering what's Etima's play here?
Etima has no qualms about using Skara's gang as a meat shield. Not Skara's gang, especially Sarek, because he's trouble, to get closer to Set. And I'm hoping to end the chaos of Z, and I've handed off a blaster to Skara, and me and Skara, that I get an opportunity to use a little strategery here.
I mean, you can mark 2 stress to have one of them suddenly appear within a scene in a superior, hidden, surprising position.
Then I'm at stress 5.
Yes, it's a dangerous place to be in, but
yeah, because I was at stress 3 and I marked 1 to have him there. But yeah, to have him in event, I think it's worth it. So I'm gonna do that thing. Now I'm at max stress, but I'm gonna enter a chaotic battle.
Well, I am going to suggest that this is you're you and the gang have spread out across the club, right? And you know that you've got a guy, you've got your man, your plan sorted with Z already, right? And that's when you see Crix and Jaldar. Crix being pushed clearly at the end of a blaster, and Jaldar going into the the back room, down like a long corridor where there's just a Gamorrean stood in front of it, like one of the guards for Black Sun, but he just nods, and Jaldar goes in there with, I think, a couple of his enforcers. I don't think all of them would have been allowed in. I think most of them would have been. I think it's the 2 that have got Crix held.
As I'm walking by Etima, I kind of make casual eye contact with her and I go, "It was Vic. It was only Vic. He took your money. He's the one that you have to track down." And kind of basically giving her a look like I didn't give her up.
No, as you walk through the club, that you're saying that like in your defense kind of thing, and Ettima can hear that. Okay, I like it. Yeah, so I think, Rich, you just tell me when these things trigger, right? And we will now have Jaldar in the room with Sekrom and Crix Hera, and you know, a couple of your enforcers, and Sekrom is
messy.
just
This is so good.
and you can see well, no, you can't see that. There's all these monsters in the cages, and Sekrom is just on his own, you know, dressed in fine robes. He looks cool. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, if I have a few things to say. First is, if I wasn't loyal to you, I wouldn't be here right now. And second is, you know, I get the job done. And here we are with the Hutts who've come in, and the Hutts have blackened our eye, and somehow they have the cops. And I kind of shoot a glance over at Crix. I'm like, they have the cops on the take. This is our guy who was supposed to deliver the goods, the bribe to the ISB.
Yes, your man, your bagman.
That's
the
right.
one that you told me could be trusted to take the deal.
That's right. So
yes.
I came here with him. He's been feeding me all sorts of lines about who it is and who it's not. And I came here so that we can get to the truth. If I wanted to get to the truth, I never would have shown up. This is sort of, I think this is justify your behavior.
I mean, I actually think this is more of a pressure someone.
Okay. Am I pressuring Sekrom?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case.
And in this case, the thing that is going along with you is him not just killing you right here. You know what I mean? Like, because his patience is wearing thin with this whole thing as well.
So in that case, I'm going to try and swing this around a little bit to be more advantageous to me, which is, I'm going to say, if it wasn't for me and for the cops, there would be blood in the streets, and blood in the streets isn't good for business, isn't good for Black Sun. So if we want to
Snickers.
If we want to get to the bottom of this and prevent all of this violence, we have to get the truth out of this guy. I'm trying to pressure him by threatening him with violence in the streets. Is that enough?
Yeah, I think as long as you're happy to take that as, you know, that if in a bad result, that's what he's aware that you're threatening him in some way, and he doesn't take well to threats.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And that lets me roll with face instead of hustle to pressure someone. So I rolled a 7, and my face is 2, so that gets me a 9.
A 9.
And there is no one here to help me.
Let me just remind myself what happens when an NPC takes. Yeah, he'll go along with you. He says, well, I suppose maybe you can clear up your own mess. You have made rather a large one. You know who runs the 8 Lives now? You know who hit every one of our cookhouses.
And I think Jaldar, steps back a little bit shocked about the cookhouses, because this is new information. And he says,
yes,
Inez is in charge of the 8 Lives.
Yes, Inez is in charge of the 8 Lives. Inez has taken a leaf from your book, Jaldar. The apprentice becomes the master. It's like an old Sith legend, but so much stupider. Put him down.
And I think Jaldar puts Crix down, and I think Jaldar will actually release his bindings and step back. Pull his weapon, but step back so that, Crix can answer for himself.
Well, I think that Crom goes, Come on, cop. Let's see how you talk. He takes a fighting stance.
God, yes, I can't stop this. I can't stop it.
And he's gonna, he's gonna hit you. He's gonna take you out in a fight. He's basically like, Master of Terrakassi. He's gonna take you on. And you've got a -1 forward due to being.
And I look at him and I go, I'm an ISB agent. And you're trying to fight me? I've got a broken arm, but damn it, I'm ISB. And I use my move that allows me to use grit.
Yes, I love it. I wondered how you would fit that into it. And I was like, actually, that's pretty cool that you say that,
So let's see. So I take a +1 forward and I use grit.
You take a -1 forward.
No, that's savagery.
Oh yeah, with grit, yes, yeah.
So I got I'm +2 with grit.
Nice.
All right. So let's see.
That is an 8 on turn to violence.
All right. So what does that mean?
That means you get to choose 2 off inflict terrible harm, suffer little harm, resist marking stress, or avoid collateral damage. So you have to mark a stress just to fight, or you can choose to avoid that if you wish.
No, I'll take the stress.
Mm-hmm.
And I suffer little harm.
Mm-hmm.
And I inflict terrible harm on the Terrakassi master. And
nice.
I will turn around and suddenly break out my Terrakassi moves that I learned from a book when I was working the night shift.
I was thinking that you go in, he goes in with like lazy indulgent, and like you actually do this Terrakassi block and you're as surprised as anyone, right? And he just sort of takes a step back and smiles, and then Chris goes street and just like hauls up and headbutts him across onto the ground, right?
That works. A Manchester hello.
Yeah. And he spits back and goes like, a fighter. I like Black Sun likes fighters. Where's the money, Hera?
I go, ask him. His guy is the one that tried to kill me and took it.
And I think as he stumbled back, he banged on like the guard at the door comes in, to like hears Crom like yell out in pain, and the guard comes in, looks, and then Crom just goes like, out of here, like kind of arrogantly, like not even acknowledging the hit. And so outside, Ettima and Skara see that guard who was at the door like just come out and look like nervous at pissing off the boss, and then like he's not really paying attention anymore to his post.
Strike.
Nice. Okay, so where does the droid come out of, Rich, in the middle of this?
I think the droid's like right behind the guys. He comes out of the door, right? It just kind of comes out of the shadows.
No, I was going to say that he, inside one of the cages, there's like a broken droid, like, like a big like battle, like big walker style thing, like an exoskeleton sort of combat droid. And like the hand just punches straight out of it. And Z has been inside of it the whole time.
Yes.
And yeah, it just comes out, and inside of the room, Crom like yells and steps back as this assassin droid just comes out, fires off a blaster, takes out one of your enforcers, Jaldar. And yeah, Ettima, Skara. Well, Ettima, I think what are your orders to Skara's gang?
Skara's gang's Crom's gotta go down, and yeah, that's really it. Like if we cut the head off the snake, I've been using that phrase a lot, but if we cut the head off the Rancor, then everything else will settle itself out. The Hutt Cartel will be in charge soon.
Cool. Well, then I think it is Skara. Skara's gang is, you're sending them down through that corridor, breaching the room just as the assassin droid comes out, right? The collateral damage that was invoked by that fight before was distracting the guard, so there's no rule to get through that door. But once you're through that door, it's all going down, right? Skara, Tren and Cyric run through, and what Jaldar's other enforcer just turns and starts opening fire. Crom is staggering back on the floor away from the cage that is being torn apart by the assassin droid, who just grabs hold of the bars and just bends them out, and steps through. So Skara, what are you going to do with this guy, the remaining enforcer, Drull, who is firing at you?
I think this feels bad, but I'm going to tell Cyric, take him out, and me and Tren try to get past him.
Okay, yeah, I will. That's fine. I'm going to give you a 10+ on that push your luck. Then we're just going to let that go through, because the price that you pay for that one, though, is that, it's a running gun battle between Cyric and the other guy, and then you just see them both pop out of cover at the same time, and both boom straight across after you two have just sprinted past the cover. Now you've crashed behind the benches. Jaldar, Crom is on the floor. Crix is is rolled away and is up in a fighting stance, and this assassin droid that was after you is coming out, and suddenly Skara's run into the room firing blasters.
So if I just want to make sure I understand the scene. The Setcrom wants to kill me.
No, Setcrom, you had convinced him that.
Oh, okay. I've convinced him that I'm on his side.
Yeah,
okay. Crix says it's not his fault; it's somebody else's fault.
Said it was Vic Munn's fault, and
right. Have I seen Atima? I don't think I have.
Well, Atima. Sorry.
Well, let's wait for a second. So I see Skara coming in blasting, and Skara's gang is attacking my enforcer.
Yeah, this is definitely a chaotic situation.
There. I guess the only question is where's Atima?
So I am too stressed out to actually enter the fight. So I was hoping.
Well, there is that guard down on the ground, right? As they run past, he staggers and he stumbles. And if you want to dish out a beatdown, and
God, I do so much, so very much. Let me dish out a beatdown, and you can see me dishing out a beatdown.
Okay.
And it's, wait for it.
That's a hell of a beatdown.
It is. He does not survive.
So Skara's gang clears the corridor. Cyric takes out, dies in this multiple firefight. You duck behind cover, and as you poke your head over this piece of machinery, you see the guard who was supposed to be manning the door stumble up, and then Atima just comes up behind him, cold cocks him, and then just beats the hell out of him on the ground, right? She had it.
So I think that on top, he's sitting on his chest and just pounding him.
And we're hearing the cracking from across the room, right? So I think Jaldar runs over to Setcrom and pulls him behind the desk, right, behind a little bit of cover, and says, "I'm the only friend you have in this room. You have left in this room. Are you going to remember that?"
Black Sun remembers, Co.
Yeah.
And he's scrabbling in his robe for a remote somewhere in there.
Right. And I think I think it's time to probably get violent. So I think do I have something about that? Yeah, no, I don't. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely going to jump in and start firing back.
Who are you firing at? Skara and the gang? Etma in the corridor? Crix, who stood there?
I think it's got to be Skara, because they're the biggest.
They're the threat at the moment.
They're the
they come in firing.
Assassin droid as well?
Oh, there is the assassin
Just want
droid
to
as well.
point out.
Yes. Yes, there is the assassin droid Z who's coming in.
That's a heck of a target of opportunity.
Yeah, let's actually say it's the assassin droid because that's the one that scares me the most because they've been able to track me down. So I'm going
Yeah.
after the assassin droid.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's with savagery, right? I think I
Mhm.
have a 1,
Mhm.
and I rolled a 7, so that gets me an 8.
An 8. Roll 2. Choose 2. Inflict terrible harm, suffer little harm, resist marking stress, avoid collateral damage.
I don't care about collateral damage. I will inflict terrible harm and suffer little harm.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
No,
yeah.
I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
I was like, could I interfere? But I think
Yeah.
she's still doing the beatdown. So
Okay.
yeah, do the thing. Sorry, go.
Okay.
Well, I think that he's a droid. Clearly, getting shot up doesn't mean he's going to not be in future series of Hutt Cartel, right? But yeah, you suffer little harm. Yeah, so you go up and like you aim, fire, blast off like his arm. It just doesn't slow him down at all. It just rotates another gun into place, and then you just like fire off another shot. Like I think you duck back down, took your gun over it, fire a shot, and it takes it right in the eye, blowing it away, right? And as it collapses down, one of its arms fires and hits the force field controls for the rancor cage. And now suddenly there's a rancor inside here that's about to, so this is absolute chaos. Crix, what do you do?
Nobody is looking at me at this moment,
Hmm.
which is the first time in about 3 hours that is the case. So I'm going to try to get out of here as fast as I can.
Nice. I think that is a push your luck.
Yep. Let's see. Somebody's got to tell me what it is. I don't actually see it.
That is a 9. Things don't work out like you'd hoped, or make an ugly choice, or tough it out. I think that you can make a break for it, but it'll involve running straight through that, and you'll take someone will shoot you on your way out. If you try and make it out. Okay. Yeah, you run out, and I think Tren, like just in the chaos of the fight, just. Oh, you know what? In fact, I think the better thing is that that's when Crom presses the remote, and like this thing that was underneath a canvas, like a canvas in the back, like suddenly rolls forward, articulates. It's a sphere that just suddenly grows legs, and then you just see these heavy blasters come out, and then and it just like blows through the corridor as you run fast, and you get carking shot.
Okay. So what are there +1s for this?
I think get carking shot is a.
There are a few questions.
Yes. It is not a blaster pistol or another small weapon. It's not an amateur, and it is trying to kill you. But I'm going to say that you have your body armor on still. Okay. So that's a +1.
On a hit, you'll live.
All right. Do I roll any advantages, or is it just a straight roll?
Just a +1.
Because of your body armor.
Okay, I got to restart this again. Sorry.
No worries.
Every roll, it just says rolling, and it never actually comes up. I restart it, and I can see it.
That sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
No problem. All right. 1.
A 7. I get to choose one. I think it's bloody, and you're going to die without immediate aid. But you do make it out of there wounded. You are out of this room. You stagger out into the Sarlacc's belly, maybe like push through like like a fire exit type door. Mm-hmm. But like when you just collapse in the alleyway, like a huge like blaster bolt burn like straight through your armor.
Can I call this in before I pass out?
I I think we've called the end, but I am 100% behind that being part of your epilogue for this scene, right? Because we're coming up against the time, so I think we're now on to. But yeah, I love it. Crix, in his true style, flees a sinking ship.
Let's actually say whenever you open that fire exit door, it sets off the fire alarm, right?
Oh, I mean, I think it's. Yeah, why not? Let's go with that. I was like, does the Sarlacc belly have such like OSHA scent? But yes, it does entirely. Yeah. And yeah, Ettima, you beat the crap out of this guy. This droid destroyer that the Blackson had that you knew about is up, and it is taking fire at Tren and Skara. Jaldar has just taken out Z. There's a Rancor that looks like it's about to break out of its restraints, which I feel like I shouldn't have added that chaos, but I couldn't resist having it added to it.
You put a Rancor in the scene.
Yeah.
You had to. You had a moral imperative.
Yeah, well,
stick in a Rancor.
You know what's going to happen to someone on a miss, right? And yeah.
I've got some strategy I want to kick out here, so that's my hope.
Crom has just pressed the button and is like, standing, like you can see him like tucked away from the shots.
Oh snap! I just rolled boxcars on strategery.
Nice.
So strategy on a 10 plus hold 2. I am gonna kill an NPC within easy reach or close range, and I kind of want it to be the Rancor.
You want it to be the Rancor and not Crom?
No, the Rancor killing Crom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry, I want the Rancor to do the deed on Crom.
Yeah, well, I think the way that you do that is, you get Crom in your sights, right? And he puts up a hand, and then you shift suddenly, fire, and you hit that chain on the Rancor, right? And it comes out, and it just bursts through, like, just crunches straight down on Crom.
And can we actually say Jaldar and Crom are right there? We're side by side, kind of shooting back and forth, and then the Rancor's behind us, and it comes down, and we don't see where it lands in the first shot, and then we see Set Crom come back up, and the Rancor chomps on it a little bit, and Jaldar is like,
yeah, I think it took out like half the cover that Jaldar was hid behind as well, right? And he's just sliding back as blaster bolts like are flying around him. Skara, Tren is on the ground. Tren is firing, and she like pulls out. She grabs Siric's blaster rifle, and she's firing them like double-handed over like this bit of cover at the droid destroyer, and she's like, "Take out Jaldar! Let's get the hell out of here!"
Yeah, that's basic. I think Skara, she sees this utter chaos. They rushed in. They thought, yeah, it's just going to be the guy and maybe a guard, and now it's just everything. So I think but now he's. I keep forgetting his name, but he is Rancor food.
Yeah, Set Crom is Rancor food. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
Jaldar is Jaldar and the droid destroyer, the remaining opposition here, but Jaldar's the target, right? Like,
yeah, I think, yeah, just take out Jaldar. I think, yeah, that's all she can think about.
Turn to violence then.
Yeah, it's not going.
And of course,
go well.
I'm going to interfere with this if possible.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
And let's see, that's Mark 1 stress, right? Actually, it's Mark 1 stress on a hit, but that's, yeah. Anyway. I've marked the stress. I'll probably get it one way or the other. It's rolled with savagery, and I have a 0. So that's +0. That's a 4. Oh,
I think you get carking shot then, Skara.
Yeah.
Roll get carking shot.
Yeah. Okay. So
Jaldar, is it a blaster pistol or other small weapon?
Actually, just for dramatic, let's say that Set Crom's like he had that Terras Cassie knife thing, and that's what I throw.
You gun jams and you grab it and throw it. So it's not, but it is a small weapon, I think, in this sense.
Yeah.
So that is a +1. You are trying to kill him. You're not an amateur. I don't think that you have body armor or a bodyguard or cover.
Not unless Trem counts, but I don't think so.
I think that was he's negating the droid destroyer.
If I can argue, I would say that I am an amateur with this weapon.
Okay, yeah, then go for it. That's a +2 then. +2.
Yeah.
+2. Okay. And that's an 8.
Jaldar, you get to choose. Is it bloody, messy, or painful?
I think it's messy. You have a wound that'll leave an ugly scar.
Mm.
Yeah, because I want to see that come back at some point, right?
Yeah, you raise the gun and then it's just, and even before you've got the shot off, this blade just like takes you out and you're just down on the ground. So, Ettima, what are you doing? Jaldar remains. This droid destroyer is, I think, incidental to the dramatic core of this scene, frankly. So it's what happens between you and Jaldar, really.
Yeah, I think I've got a.
In fact, the Rancor now is like the droid destroyer has to shift and relocate and rolls through the Rancor's legs. And now it's like, then it gets bounced off the wall, and it's now this sort of like kaiju fight happening in the background.
Oh dear God, that's amazing.
Paris bleeding on the floor, reaching out for you.
Oh God. Does it look like Jaldar is going to fire on Skara more? If you want to throw it over to Jaldar to take his move, and then you can just
why
have an
why don't you size someone up?
Yeah, that's it. That's a great thing that I'll do. I'll size you up. That sounds good. Sorry for the hesitation. I know we're coming up on time and I know you have to go like immediately. That's a 9. One question. So what do you intend to do?
I intend to leave.
Intends to run.
Intends to run. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let that happen. I'm gonna bust in and pull Scar out of this. Let the cartel deal with Jaldar.
Okay. I think that's a good place to end it, right, guys? It's like the droid Dakar and the thing. Tren grabs Skara and drags her out of there. Ettima and you all come out into the alleyway, and then Crix, you'd called it in, right, to the CSF. This whole thing.
Nice. I think there'll maybe if we're doing epilogues, I'd love to do a little epilogue. It doesn't even have to be dialogue, but it's like Ettima and Skara showing up at the 8 Lives to kind of say, "Hey, Inez, we did the thing. Sekrom's dead." But
let's have Philip go first because he has.
Yeah.
Sure. I figure at this point, the CSF shows up, and I'm bleeding out. Just as they get there, I raise my head and I just say, "I beat the Terrakazi master. They're all inside. I can do no more. If I die, I die a hero." And because he's bullshit to the end.
Well, your vision's like blurry, right? And it just shows you like you're clutching like a gloved hand. And then it cuts out, and the gloved hand is actually like Rex, the droid, wearing your full uniform on top of his droid, out exterior, and just those eyes blink down at you, and he says, "Oh no, Hera, the case isn't over yet. We have so many more things to clear up between us."
And I bleed stoically.
Yeah. And that's when you collapse out. Last thing you see, those 2 glowing eyes staring down at you. And then, Ettima and you went to the 8 Lives with, went to see Inez. That's where it ends with the thing. Yeah, time passes. Should we do Jaldar? I think that's a wild card to see what happens with Jaldar. Jaldar, what's the epilogue for Jaldar?
So I think I don't have a clear idea. I think the epilogue for Jaldar is we actually see, you know, we see the last moment. We see the security forces kind of coming in and storming the place, and there's a big mess. And in the background, we see the Rancor fighting with the Droideka, and basically Jaldar takes advantage whenever the Rancor stumbles into a wall. It partially collapses, and he bolts. And you know, we see some kind of time has passed, and we see Jaldar slumped down in a gutter somewhere, rattling a little cup. You know, and we see one of like the Hutt cartel people that we've seen before walk by, drop a couple of coins, and Jaldar, you know, has ducked his head and has like a hood or a hat. I think a hat that he pulls low, and he jingles the coins a little bit, and then that's it. But it's like raining and dirty in the gutter.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you pulled yourself out of the full mess of whatever, you had none of your stuff, right? And you just grabbed, like you did the Kyle Reese from Terminator, you grabbed like homeless guy's clothes off the body of someone there, and you just, yeah, I love it. And Etma, so you've gone to 8 lives. Inez is perfectly happy with the way, you know, she smiles and she leans in and kisses you and says, "Great, I think we can do business, and maybe more."
Skara.
Thank you, Philip. I've had a great time. Sorry,
absolutely,
to interrupt.
no problem.
Rich.
See you guys.
Sorry to interrupt, Rich.
No.
Just,
I appreciate
just wanted to say, yeah.
No, it's just very important to make sure he knows because he was awesome. I couldn't have got through this without Skara. Skara is a good soldier. Make sure she and her people are taken care of, Inez, in this new order, okay?
People.
It's important.
I see only person, but I know what it's like on the street. I started there too, Skara. Now look where I am. I think I have an opening for you. Head of Mayan forces. How does that sound? Chief of operations.
And I think Skara just, I mean, she's still bleeding, and she has this big cut across her face from this blade thing.
Oh, and she's passing you like, you know, a really strong spirit of whatever Jaldar had in there. You know, opens up Jaldar's like Corellian brandy, Alderanian whiskey, and she's pouring you all a glass, and like she just hands you the bottle.
Yeah, she takes the bottle and just takes a swig and coughs, and then takes another swig, and she just yeah, I mean, and Trem is standing like off to the side, just looking worried and not at all into this.
Yeah, I think Trent is just like looking down, you know, looking at their hands, then are just like thinking of everyone that you've lost to get here. I love it. And then we call it, I guess. Is that good with everyone? Anyone have anything else they wanted to add? No. I think somewhere another ISB agent stumbles across the body of Batty. No, you know what? I think the last scene is, you know, a stormtrooper squad like that. It's a dead body of Astapone and the dead body of Batty like lying there in this empty room, right? Then you just see like the door, just like a burn mark goes around it, and then suddenly like there's explosions, and then a droid comes in, and then just like stormtrooper after stormtrooper after stormtrooper, all clad in black armor, come marching into the room, like clearing it, and then you just see a woman walking through in Imperial uniform with a white streak down her hair, and she kicks over Astapone's body. She says, "A pity. We always need new workers in Lusyanka. This is Commander Isard. Activate the new agents." And yeah, so I would love to do stars and wishes and stuff. I think just my idea on how it's all ended is that Inez is now the Druglord. Amara Tavi is like the handle, like the main contact with the cartel. Jaldar is a beggar on the streets keeping his head low. Skara is now like, the Trogo / Inez of the new organization, and Etma is right up there and has successfully replaced the Druglord, has completed her mission, and also completed a bunch of her objectives, I would say, in this last session. I think you've killed a deadly rival. You definitely killed eliminated a deadly rival in the form of Batty. You killed a dangerous enforcer. You killed Sekrom. And steal a valuable asset. I'd almost argue that's part of your whole mission anyways, if we were to take it as an abstract asset. But either way, you've hit big on, you've successfully done your mission. The general's sending some top men down soon. Special mission might be the last push. What's needed to unseat the Imperials off Coruscant. Keep an eye out for some flyboys.
Crazy.
So let's do. Well, should we finish? Say goodbye to the internet.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
internet.
I enjoyed that. Do you want to hit stop, Rich?
Yeah.